Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we are going to go on a cosmic journey around your astrology chart to highlight some powerful conjunctions that we've been working with since late 2019. And this information was a download that I received. It came through first, starting with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, and then proceeded to reveal itself. So I wanted to show you this energy in your chart because it's truly showing us how we are growing and expanding our consciousness at a very deep level, at a cosmic level. So the journey begins with a very powerful conjunction in late November. Now keep in mind, these are conjunctions that I'm focusing on. There have been many other important transits, but these are conjunctions that started in November 2019 when Jupiter in Sagittarius, its home sign, was conjunct Venus and the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. This is important to understand, especially in hindsight, where every 12 years, Jupiter in Sagittarius is conjunct the galactic center, which expands the information, light, and consciousness we're able to receive on the planet, expands us in ways that we don't always know yet. And working with Venus directly was certainly about our capacity to love, to grow, to expand our belief systems, to understand more of what we're learning in this lifetime, to look at it from a higher vantage point. So this conjunction at 27 degrees of Sagittarius in November 2019 was a lot of incoming energy through the galactic center. And then look at what has unfolded that has shifted, changed us, and elevated us, albeit in difficult, challenging ways, but still a part of this energy. So after we had this exact conjunction in Sagittarius, so this is actually the part of your chart you'd want to start looking at, where you have that 27 degrees of Sag point, which is the galactic center, incoming energy, huge transmissions, downloads, energetic messages, things expanding us, but it takes time for that to reveal itself and to unfold. Then a few months later, in January 2020, we had that Pluto-Saturn conjunction at 23 degrees of Capricorn, which really showed us what energies were no longer suitable on the planet, right? Where there was a lot of collapse, things falling apart, powerful, deep transformation and changes, and very powerful ones at that. We've talked a lot about this energy, I know, throughout 2020, before 2020 even. And also during 2020, we had Jupiter making conjunctions to Pluto as well as Saturn. So here we had, think of this as Jupiter received a huge download from that galactic center conjunction that brought in higher energies as well that Venus was holding, expanding what we could believe was possible, carried that into Capricorn as we saw big world changes that are still happening, that are still unfolding, especially since Pluto is still in Capricorn. But this conjunction then happened in the Capricorn area of your chart, which brought your attention to how you're spending your life. What is your life purpose? What are you about? Why are you here on the planet? What is the meaning of this lifetime for you? Are you in touch with your purpose, your soul mission? Are you aware of your bigger responsibilities to yourself, especially at a cosmic level? And so this energy came through, drastically and dramatically changed all of our lives. Then the energy progressed into Aquarius, where Saturn and Jupiter began a new cycle together, a new synodic cycle in late December of 2020 at 0 to 1 degrees of Aquarius. And this was the planting of new energetic codes, potentials, what the future could hold, what we want to build next, what we need now that will take us forward into these other experiences, these other timelines. Aquarius being the future, being quantum leaps, new timelines, new energies to open up to that seem wild and crazy at first, but that is a point of creation when we're starting to formulate something. So now we had this conjunction, right, in late 2020, where we were needed to understand things from a higher perspective. And also, this is very cosmic energy as well, as Aquarius is very much about other galaxies, other energy fields, other potentials that could be hard to mentally grasp at first, but hold beautiful potentials for us to open up with. So what I want to be showing you here is the progression of energy. It started in late Sagittarius. We worked with it in Capricorn. Then it moved into Aquarius. Then in April 2022, we had the very rare conjunction in Pisces, Jupiter-Neptune conjunction at 23-24 degrees of Pisces. Now you could also see how this energy is actually sextiled that Pluto-Saturn conjunction in 2020. And this was about tapping into a new dream, a higher understanding, more trust, where we go in order to see the bigger picture that's outside of the human reality. Pisces is about endings, completions, unravelings, and what we're ready to leave behind in order for that new dream, that new higher understanding to come forth. And so here we have this strong Pisces energy giving us support to let go, to transmute energies, to allow parts of our journeys to be complete, especially at a soul level, which is what that Neptune and Pisces brings in, reminding us of our spiritual connections, our spiritual capabilities, showing us that we're so much more than just this time on the planet, and perhaps even offering you something more to believe in that deeply resonates with what you want next and where you're going next in your life. Then we had the energy of May 2022, where Jupiter was conjunct Mars at 3 degrees of Aries. Keep in mind, this is also a rare conjunction in Aries, which is Mars's home sign. And this is an amplification of those Mars energies, what you want next, what you're ready to create, what you're ready to begin and start and go for. And so this was a big activation energy, an activation of more of what you're connecting to at a physical level. Mars in Aries is your body consciousness, where we're being deeply reprogrammed in multiple levels of our being and in our energy systems, and how that now is affecting you physically, mentally, emotionally, to go for what you want and to see how you're new, how you're different at this time. So with that conjunction in Aries, a new beginning is underway. A new beginning was initiated in May 2022. Then the energy goes into the middle of 2022, where another powerful conjunction is happening with Uranus conjunct the North Node, that's my messy North Node, at 18 degrees of Taurus. Now, this is an energy point of liberation, chaos, disruption, rebellion, big changes, and the North Node being where we're going next, where we're learning, stretching, moving outside of comfort zones, and this energy being very significant in that cosmic energy field because of how Uranus is in touch with higher intelligence, what the human mind doesn't quite see or understand, but is receiving downloads to support the changes, to support the new trajectory, and what you're ready to change in yourself that maybe you've been holding back, but now it's in alignment with those Taurus value systems, that sense of love for yourself and understanding that you can create a new reality of your life in this lifetime. And there is support for it here that can happen quickly, out of the blue. Maybe it seems like it's even too fast, but this is certainly an energy that wants you to take off in some area of your life so that you can really live life to its highest potential based on who you are now. And that's where the fast changes happen. It's almost like this is a new higher alignment, a new direction opening up because of these changes. So what I'm highlighting for you here is a progression of energy that started Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus. See how this all unfolded in the order of the astrological signs, starting at the galactic center? And you see how it progressed through your chart, highlighting this half of your chart. This half of your chart from Sagittarius to Taurus is where you've been undergoing the biggest changes, developments, shifts, perhaps the biggest fears, the biggest uncertainties. But this is all part of the elevation. This is all part of where the energies are showing you what's ready to change in your life. Now, to be fair, that means the second half of the zodiac over here, so you have planets in Gemini through Scorpio, this half of the zodiac is where the planets over here have probably felt the most challenges, because these dynamic conjunctions have been opposing Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio energies. So if you have planets or points on this half of the zodiac, you've really been feeling maybe that things have truly felt outside of your control, pulling you into new places. And it could just be even more intense because, again, it's this half of the zodiac where so much has been changing in ourselves. But it started, or rather, it didn't start because energy is always in motion. But there was this huge download at the galactic center point in November 2019 that basically opened our planet up to more of these incoming energies coming through, both collectively and individually. Now, the other thing I noticed, of course, is that we've also been having a lot happening in the Gemini areas of our charts because the personal planets have all and will be experiencing retrogrades in Gemini, including Mars, which will have retrograde and Gemini energy in late 2022 into 2023. But in 2020, Venus was retrograde in Gemini, Mercury was retrograde in Gemini in 2021, 2022 to 2023. Mars is retrograde in Gemini. And then we also had the North Node here in Gemini. So all of these big energies are reconfiguring our perceptions, how we think, how we're taking in and understanding these big changes. We've been rewiring, reprioritizing, reworking our own unconscious perceptions in the Gemini areas of your chart. Again, you've probably had many changes in this part of your life. Gemini being having choices. And I feel it as this is actually the choices between the lower mind and the higher mind, meaning elevating our thoughts, what we thought would be possible, and really being clear on the stories we tell ourselves, the energies that we are spinning in mentally, being aware of the choices we're making, staying flexible and adaptable. So overall, this has been a very powerful unfolding of energies through these conjunctions. And they've all been sequential. They've been sequential. And that was the message of the download I received, was to highlight the sequence of unfolding, like the sequence of energies unfolding. It's been progressing through the zodiac. There is something in alignment here. You can also look at it as how Jupiter has been the messenger, where Jupiter has been involved in this progression of consciousness. And that is Jupiter's role, is to expand our knowledge base, to think of it in a new way. Jupiter has been deeply working with our belief systems as it's moved through each of these astrological signs. Now, Jupiter will be conjunct Uranus at 21 degrees of Taurus in April 2024. But essentially, I see this as Jupiter connecting with the galactic center and Venus was about opening up our hearts to our own growth process in this lifetime, to loving yourself through these changes, accepting yourself and looking at more of your energy from a higher perspective. And as these powerful, rare conjunctions, these are rare conjunctions, have unfolded in the sequential manner, it's continued to expand our consciousness and it's brought our attention to each of the energies in these astrological signs. And so you can go through your chart and look at the house placements where these energies have been showing up for you, to look at how you've been elevating your own consciousness and belief systems around your life, especially when all of this has felt very big and significant. It's certainly not only been life-changing, but world-changing, and it's still unfolding. And as the energy has moved from Sagittarius to Taurus, it's almost like the expansion, the reality check and permanent changes, the understanding of what's possible, the allowing, letting go, releasing so that a new dream can come forward, returning to your own energy, calling it back to you, understanding what you want and desire also desires you when it's in alignment with your strong sense of self, and then bringing it into your value systems that have probably deeply changed and have shifted in a way where you're ready to let some things go, you're complete, you're done. And the conjunction here of Uranus to the North Node is showing you where you're ready for more changes in your life. And this is, both Aries and Taurus are the sense of self energy. So the energy has now been, it's like it's landed more in our personal lives around what isn't working, what I need to change. But I feel like it's not meant to be reactive. It's from a place of power where, okay, a lot has changed in the world at large. There is still more unfolding, the chaos and uncertainty that's outside of our control. But the universe is saying, but what do you want now? Because it matches your current frequency and it actually is showing you more of what's possible than what you could have realized before. I feel like there's something beautifully divine about this progression of energy. There's something rare about it. And I know that's the word I keep using over and over again, but maybe this can help you connect some dots about the bigger galactic picture that came in and is unfolding on our planet that we are each a part of. And now the power and the focus is back on your own energy field. This is what I'm going to choose. This is what I want. This is what matters to me in my life. And there's something here that's meant to send us in a new direction that matches this higher consciousness now. And it's also been deeply reconfiguring our belief systems. Again, that is one of the tasks of Jupiter, who has been a big player in this progression of energy and is showing you maybe what hasn't been working or what isn't going to work anymore because of how deeply you've changed and shifted, how much you've evolved since this energy started to move through us and move across the planet. And also how we at a soul level chose to be a part of this unfolding of events. We wanted to be here for the experience of this lineup of powerful, rare conjunctions. And that these are the houses and planets in your chart that wanted and needed this change in this lifetime. So again, very understandable if you have planets or points on the other side of the zodiac that have felt like you've really been going through it. It's been more intense, more out of your control, more challenging because of the oppositional energies. But keep in mind that even planets on this side of the zodiac have received support through trines and sextiles. So let's say, you have planets in Virgo. Well, you have received support from the trine, from the planets when they are in Capricorn, and then the trines through Taurus. So keep in mind that it's not only oppositions that you could be feeling. There's trines, there's sextiles, there's other things going on. But this energy, the conjunction brings a concentration to these focal points in your chart. And because these are outer planets, it's bigger. And it affects the mass consciousness. It works with all of us at a deeper level, and it brings about more significant life changes, which is what the outer planets do. The outer planets show us what needs to evolve and shift and move forward, where something can no longer stay the same. It's designed to grow. And I feel like there is a very beautiful, intentional soul growth journey that we've been moving through that we can only see when we take a step back. I mean, look at what has changed for you since November 2019. Now, I'm not including eclipses. This doesn't include the other transiting aspects, which have been big, such as Saturn squaring Uranus. This is about the conjunctions because it's brought our attention, again, to particular areas of our lives and of our charts. And these conjunctions are with the outer planets, which I'm going to repeat myself and say is more of a bigger deal. It's a bigger deal, especially Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So understand that what has been unfolding is actually beautifully on time, and it has been a progression of energy designed to move us forward. Because you got to understand how rare it is that we would have this kind of lineup. I mean, it's almost like if even one planet, like we could have easily had Saturn over here in Leo or Uranus over here in Scorpio. I mean, the fact that the planets are in alignment like this means that something else, the bigger picture, is in alignment. And it's unfolding on our human Earth timeline, which in some ways can feel very slow, and other ways it could feel very fast. I mean, think about how November 2019 was only a few years ago from when I'm recording this. So it's not as if we're talking about 5 or 10 years ago even. So there's something big and significant we've been moving through that's meant to evolve our consciousness, move our lives forward, get us in touch with more of what we really want, and to not hold back what we want, to not be almost like concerned or scared or thinking that there's limitations. I feel like this conjunction with Uranus in the North Node is a limitation breaker. It's going to break you out of patterns, habits, routines, anything that is even unconsciously self-imposed. And maybe you've had some belief systems around what you can't have, what you don't deserve, what you're not worthy of. The universe is asking you to rework that, reprogram that in yourself, go bigger, go higher, because there are things you can energetically open up to that may just surprise you, but also set you on this new trajectory that is truly more of who you are. Really who you are. And I feel like it's interesting how this energy being so strong, it feels like what it's showing us is how we can create the life we want even more now because of all of this, because of all the big world changes. Even though it's been very drastic, uncomfortable, uncertain at times, all of that, there's also something here where I feel like this higher cosmic intelligence is speaking to us and reminding us of our power, of our ability to choose, of our sovereignty, of our ability to be in the strength of who we are and to allow that to lead the way. Allow your energy to lead the way. Come back into the power of yourself. Break out of your own chains or limitations or anything that, again, maybe was self-imposed or perhaps even culturally imposed or imposed from your family, or just these unconscious limitations that we carry around what we think our life can or cannot be. And I feel like what the universe is saying is, because of all these changes you've been through, consider that you could have more of what you ever thought was possible, but only if you've been doing this deep inner change work to realize more of who you are, why you're here, what matters to you, and to honor that, to place a sense of importance on what you want to create next in your life after we've been through these big changes in the world, in our lives, that have also helped reconfigure us to be more on track with your soul purpose, your soul mission, that sense of possibility, that sense of this is what I want to experience in my life. Again, I feel like there's something about this energy coming back into our individual energy fields and giving us some new possibilities to play with and work with, and to not allow your energy or power remain too much outside of yourself in the world. Because it's when the individual is in their power that it affects the collective. And so it's turning things on its head in a way where you're saying, okay, but what do I want now? Because I know that when I go for it, open up to it, trust it, that's actually the new higher energy that I'm bringing into my daily life, but also into the world at large. So, fascinating sequence of energies unfolding. And again, put it in perspective. I mean, we could have had this energy working with the galactic center, and then it could have been the Uranus conjunct North Node in Taurus. Like, that didn't happen. So I wanted to highlight how it's been unfolding through the astrological signs in a sequential progression of consciousness. Where is your consciousness now? Because perhaps, just perhaps, there was something that came through back in November 2019 that we've been working through and reassessing so that we can be at this place of higher alignment for what we want, to go for it. Again, to break out of anything that's no longer you, and to know that the universe supports it. I also have a podcast on Mondays where I talked about Uranus conjunct the North Node in Taurus. I'll have a part 2 released on July 4th, 2022. Then we'll also be talking about the upcoming Mars retrograde in the second half of 2022. So depending when you're watching this video, these energies might have already passed. But again, even the retrogrades in Gemini, progression, Mars being the last retrograde in Gemini that we're working through to understand more of what we can create in our lives when we're making those higher choices, inspired, educated, higher choices, which is something that Gemini wants us to ultimately choose and learn. So I hope this video has made sense and given you some things to look at in your own life, in your own chart. Again, starting at 27 degrees of Sag and then going through your chart. This half of your chart is where all the developments, changes, big developments, big world shifts have occurred, but it's also changed you, perhaps even at a core level. And again, I'm I'm stating, my main theory here is that it started with these galactic downloads, that we were ready for the planet to permanently change, that we're part of that energetic process, a huge part of it. Humanity's sovereignty, humanity's ability to be in its power is a significant part of this energy change on the planet. And the more we can claim it, the more we can work with it and own it and be in alignment with our authentic self, that leads to even more developments that are in alignment with what you wanted to experience in this lifetime. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this gave you some good things to ponder, review, look at, and also just to look at the magic of the universe, the magic of things unfolding in a sequential way, and how that beautifully supports what we're moving throughout this time. So thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube. I'll be back with another video soon. In the meantime, please check out my playlists where you will find a ton of videos on various astrology topics. Thank you again, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.